Welcome to my videos on my blog. In this time, I'm going to talk about the NFL 2024 season, week 17 scores, where yesterday finished the week 13, where this was a very long week because it started the last Wednesday in the NFL Christmas Day and finished it yesterday with the Monday Night Football. So this was a very great week because now a lot of teams were qualified to the playoff and other teams were eliminated. So for that reason, I'm going to talk about what happened in this week, the games that were played, who are the NFL standings in both conference and league, sorry, and how is the NFL playoff picture until this moment. So let's start. Well, remember that this was a long week where it started the last Wednesday in the Christmas Day, where started with my favorite team, the Steelers, where unfortunately the Steelers lost 10-29 against the Kansas City Chiefs. About this game, this was a close game, but the Steelers made a lot of mistakes. Especially the Steelers had to give it away, one interception, one fumble. The interception costed that the Steelers couldn't score a touchdown, and the fumble cost the team another 7 points, and the Steelers lost this game. How I told you, the Steelers couldn't compete and defeat a top team. The Steelers have a three straight loss, and now the Steelers fell to a 10-6 record with this loss and the Ravens victory. The Steelers now fell to the second place in the AFC North, and now it looks very impossible to win the AFC North. And with this victory, the Kansas City Chiefs improved to a 15-1 record. They clinched the number one set in the AFC. So, in the second game, in the Christmas Day, the Baltimore Ravens traveled to Houston and defeated the Houston Texans 31-2. About this game, the Ravens didn't have any problem. They had an easy game and they humiliated the Texans. And I am very surprised of how bad the Texans have been playing if we compare what happened the last season, especially C.G. Stroud, that he put a step back because he's played a very bad football. How I told you, the Baltimore Ravens had an easy game and they improved to a 11-5 record. And thanks that the Steelers lost his game a little early in Christmas, now the Ravens are leading the AFC North and they need only a victory to clinch the AFC North. And the Houston Texans, they qualified, they clinched a spot to the playoffs. They clinched the AFC South, and they're gonna to stay in the playoffs. And the most important of this game was that in the halftime was the Beyond's presentation. It was good, and this was the most important because both games in the Christmas Day were very bad. And the next day, the next Thursday, it was played the last next Thursday night football of the season, where the Seattle Seahawks defeated 6-3 the Chicago Bears. About this game, there is not much to say because this was the worst Thursday night football in the season because this game was very bad. The only good is in this game there were any touchdown scored and all the points were made for the kicker. So where the Seattle Seahawks scored two field goals in the halftime, the Chicago Bears only won, and the Seattle Seahawks won this game. The Seattle Seahawks improved a 9-7 record, but because the Rams and the Commanders won their game, the Seattle Seahawks were officially eliminated, and the Chicago Bears fell to a 4-12 record, and they have a 10 straight losing. Both teams are eliminated. And the last Saturday we had 3 games. In the first game, the Los Angeles Chargers traveled to the northeast of the country and defeated the New England Patriots 47. There is not much to say about this game because the Chargers had an easy game and they humiliated the Patriots. And to be honest, the Patriots, what a bad team they are, and because they lost this game, and because the Giants won their game, the Patriots now are the worst team in the league. They have the worst record, and for that reason, in this moment, they are the number one. They have the number one pick in the next NFL draft. With this victory, how I told you, the Chargers had an easy game. They were leading 27 in the halftime. They scored another 20 points in the second half, and they won easily. With this victory, the Chargers improved to a 10-0 record, and they clinched a spot to the playoffs. the second game of the Saturday. I think that the best game of the Saturday and one of the best game of the week. The Cincinnati Bengals defeated the Denver Broncos 30-24 in overtime. This was a tremendous game. I'm not gonna to lie because both teams needed the Bengals needed our time to win this game. About this game, the most exciting part was in the last quarter and in the overtime, where in the last quarter with less than 4 minutes to play, the Broncos had the opportunity to win this game, but the Bo Nix had an interception that led that the Bengals score a touchdown. And with less than 2 minutes to play, with less than 1 minute to play, the Bengals were leading the game 24-16. In that moment, I thought that the game was over because I never expected that the Broncos were going to score a touchdown. But the Buccaneers scored a touchdown in the last second of the game, and they made a 2 point. No, sorry. They were trailing by one touchdown, 17-24. And I think that this was the decision of the game because Sean Payton, instead of decide to attempt points, 2 points attempt them to win this game, they decided that he wanted, and the Broncos made a extra point, and the game was tied 24-24. In the overtime, the Bengals were a better team. They have the opportunity to win this game with a field goal in the Broncos 20 yards, I think so. The Bengals kicker missed it, and I think in that moment that the Broncos were going to win this game, but not. The Bengals defense intercepted the ball, I think so, or they stopped the Broncos. And in the next drive, in the last drive of the game, Bengals scored a touchdown and they won the game 30-24. With this victory, the Cincinnati Bengals still have possibilities to enter to the playoffs. They improved to an 8 record, but they need some help because they need that the Broncos and the Dolphins lost the last game. Both teams lost their last game, but it looks very difficult. And the Denver Broncos, with this loss, they fell to a 9-7 record, and for that reason they avoided to clinch a spot to the playoffs. So they only need to defeat the Kansas City Chiefs in the last week, and they will qualify to the playoffs. And in the last game of the Saturday's last game, the Los Angeles Rams defeated the Arizona Cardinals 19-9. About this game, this was a typical divisional game where this was a close and tough game where the Rams play a very great game, especially in the defense side, and they got the victory. With this victory, and because some combination, the Los Angeles Rams clinched a spot to the playoffs, and they won the NFC West, and they qualified to the playoffs. And before this week, the Arizona Cardinals were eliminated. And the games that were played the last Sunday, the Philadelphia Eagles didn't have any problem, and they humiliated the Dallas Cowboys 41-7. There is not much to talk about this. This game showed that the Eagles are one of the best teams in the league, and they are one of the favorite teams to represent the NFC in the next Super Bowl. About this game, you can see here how very great team this Eagles team because even the Jalen Hurts didn't play this game. The bench quarterback Kenny Pickett play a great game, and they didn't need Jalen Hurts, and they won this game easily. With this victory, the Eagles lock the second set in the NFC South. They don't have any to play in the last game of the season, and the Dallas Cowboys were eliminated the last week. And in another divisional game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers didn't have any problem and defeated and humiliated the Carolina Panthers 48-14. Remember that before this game, the Buccaneers needed to win this game and wait that the Falcons lost his game against the Washington Commanders to escalate to the first place in the NFC South. This is what is happened because the Buccaneers had an easy game. They showed that they have a tremendous offenses because Baker Mayfield played a tremendous game. He threw by a five touchdown, and he led the victory to the Buccaneers. With this victory, how I told you, the Buccaneers improved to a 9-7 record, and they escalate to the first place in the NFC South. So they only need to defeat the Saints, I think so, in the last week to win the NFC South. In another divisional game, the Buffalo Bills didn't have any problem and humiliated the New York Jets 40-14. There is not much to talk about this game, only to say that the Buffalo Bills are one of the best teams in the AFC and they will want to represent the AFC in the next Super Bowl. And the New York Jets are a joke, to be honest. It was a very bad investment to sing the Aaron Rodgers because it looked like that he's not going to recover his best year, and the most probably is that in the offseason the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers are going to part ways. So with this victory, the Buffalo Bills improved to a 13-3 record, and they clinched the second set in the AFC. Conference, so where they don't have anything to play in the last week, and the Jets are eliminated. In one of the surprise of the week, the New York Giants defeated the Indianapolis Colts 45-33. This was amazing because the Giants played his best game of the season, and I think that this is the first time in 6 years that the Giants scored more than 40 points. This was a tremendous game because the Giants had nothing to win or to lose in this game, and the Indianapolis Colts needed to win this game. It was a must to win this game to still have possibilities to enter to the playoff. But with this loss, they lost that opportunity and they are eliminated. The only bad news for the Giants is that with this victory, they lost the number one pick in the next NFL draft. Now they are the second worst team in the league, but they got a victory and they avoided to be winless in home in this season. In another game that had nothing to play, the Las Vegas Raiders defeated the New Orleans Saints 25-10. There is nothing much to say about this game because there is nothing in play. Both teams were eliminated before this game, and the Vegas Raiders got this victory. And with this victory, they have a back-to-back losses. Remember before that the back-to-back losses, they had a 10 losing streak. In another game that didn't have any to play, like the last game, the Jacksonville Jaguars defeated the Tennessee Titans 2013. Remember that these two teams are two of the worst teams in the league, and the only important here is that the Jaguars got the victory, and they have one more victory than the Tennessee Titans. And the games that were played in the second shift, the Miami Dolphins traveled to Cleveland and defeated the Cleveland Browns 22. About this game, the Miami Dolphins didn't need a lot to defeat the Cleveland Browns because the Cleveland Browns are one of the worst teams in the league. They had an easy game and they had an easy victory. With this victory, the Dolphins improved to a 8-8 record, and with this victory, they still have possibilities to enter to the playoff. The Dolphins need to win his game in the last week and wait that the Broncos don't win his game to qualify to the playoffs. It looks difficult, but it's not impossible. And the best game of the week, or one of the best game of the week, the Minnesota Vikings defeated the Green Bay Packers 27-25. About this game, you can see here that this game was very close for the score, but to be honest, the Vikings had an easy game, and only because the Vikings relaxed in the fourth quarter because they had the game under control is when the Packers took advantage of that and they put emotion to the game. But in the end, the Vikings were a better team and they dominated this game. With this victory, the Vikings improved to a 14-2 record, and now the last week they will play the number one set in the AFC, the NFC North, and the number one set in the NFC because if they defeat the Detroit Lions, they will gonna to get the number one set in the NFC. And with this loss, the Green Bay Packers fell to an 11-5 record. They had qualified to the playoffs the last week, but this showed that the Packers can defeat top teams because they have a 0-5 record against the Vikings, the Lions, and the Eagles. And in the Sunday Night Football, that was a tremendous game. The Washington Commanders defeated the Atlanta Falcons 30-24. Before this game, the Commanders needed to win to clinch a spot to the playoff, and the Atlanta Falcons needed to win this game. It was a must to win this game to have the control of his destiny to win the NFC South, but everything was complicated because with this loss, they are practically eliminated. About this game, the Atlanta Falcons were better team in the first half because they were leading by surprise for everyone, 17-7. But in the second half, the Commanders improved a lot. They tied the game, and later they forced a overtime where in the end of the regular time the game was tied, sorry, 24-24. In the overtime, the Falcons had the opportunity to win this game with a field goal, but they missed it, and the Commanders, especially were leading, where the Jaden Daniels led the victory, where they scored a touchdown, and they got the victory. With this victory, the Commanders improved to a 11-5 record. They clinched a spot to the playoffs, and now the Atlanta Falcons fell to a AA record, and now they need to defeat in the last week to the Panthers and wait that the Buccaneers don't defeat the Saints to win to win the NFC South and clinch a spot to the playoffs. But it looks very difficult. And the game that closed this week in the Monday Night Football, the Detroit Lions traveled to Santa Clara, California, in the southwest of the country, and defeated the San Francisco 49ers 40-34. Remember that this was a rematch of the last season NFC Championship game, where the 49ers defeated the Detroit Lions to qualify to the Super Bowl 58, but they lost against the Kansas City Chiefs in overtime. About this game, this was a very funny game because was nothing to play in this game, because remember that before this game the 49ers were eliminated and the Detroit Lions didn't matter to win or lose this game, because everything is going to define in the last week against the Minnesota Vikings. In the first half, the 49ers were better team because by surprise everyone, they were leading the game 13. But in the fourth quarter, especially in the third quarter, is when the Detroit Lions improved better. They come back they come back and they took the lead in the end of the third quarter, and they handled all for the rest of the game, and in the end they had an easy game and they won the game 40-34. With this victory, the Detroit Lions improved to a 14-2 record, and they are in this moment leading the NFC conference. So, who are the NFL standings through our 17 of weeks in the AFC? Let's start with the AFC. In the AFC is, you can see here the Buffalo Bills clinched the AFC is, they won it by 3 or 4 weeks ago. The Dolphins still have possibilities to enter the playoff, but they need to win and wait that the Broncos don't win each game, and the Jets and the Patriots were eliminated. In the AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs won it, the AFC West, and they clinched the number 1 set in the AFC. The Chargers clinched a spot to the playoffs this last week when they defeated the Patriots, and the Broncos need to win. They need to defeat the Chiefs. The most probably is going to happen because it looks like that the Chiefs are going to play with the bench player because they don't play anything, and the Broncos the most probably are going to qualify to the playoffs, and the Raiders are eliminated. In the AFC North, everything is very funny because the Ravens and the Steelers clinch a spot to the playoffs, but in this moment the Ravens need to defeat the Browns to win the AFC North, and the Steelers need to defeat the Bengals and wait that the Ravens lost against the Browns to win the AFC North. It looks very complicated, and for the Bengals, they need to defeat the Steelers and wait that the Dolphins and Broncos lose their games respectively to qualify. That this looks very difficult, and the Browns are eliminated. And the AFC South, the Houston Texans clinched a spot to the playoffs, and they won the AFC South 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the rest of the teams are eliminated. And the NFC conference, in the NFC is, the Eagles won this conference 2 weeks ago. They are in this moment, they are locked in the number 1 set in the NFC, and they have nothing to play. And the Commanders clinched a spot to the playoffs this last week when they defeated the Falcons, and they only will play in in which set they are going to finish, and the Cowboys and the Giants are eliminated. In the NFC West, the Los Angeles Rams clinched the NFC West the last Saturday, where they defeated the Cardinals, and the rest of the teams are eliminated. And this was a surprise because no one expected that they were going to win this division. And the deception of this season are the 49ers, because in my opinion, my prediction was that they were going to play the Super Bowl 59, but not. They were a deception, and they are in the border of the NFC West. In the NFC North, the best division of the league, the Lions and the Vikings are tied in the first place with a 14-2 record. So the teams that win the last game, these two teams will play in the last week. In the week 18, the winner of this game will win the NFC North, and they will win the number one seat in the NFC. And the Packers clinch a spot to the playoffs, and the Bears are eliminated. In the last division, the NFC South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took the number one place because the Atlanta Falcons lost, and now the Buccaneers need to defeat in the last week the Saints to win this division, and the Falcons need to defeat the Saints and wait that the Buccaneers lost against the Panthers to win the NFC South and qualify to the playoffs. It looks difficult and almost impossible. So you can see here that the teams that qualify to the playoffs are in the AFC, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, the Texans, the Steelers, and the Chargers. In the Hunt are the Broncos, and then most probably they're gonna to qualify because the Dolphins and the Bengals need some combination to qualify to the playoff. And in the NFC, you can see here that the Lions, Eagles, Rams, Vikings, and Commanders and Packers are qualified. And the only that is in play is to decide who is going to win the NFC South and see who is going to get the number one seed. So, in this video, I talk about what happened in the NFL 2024 season, Week 17, the scores. I hope you like this video, and if you have any comment or suggestion, you can write me in any of my social media platforms. So, see you next video. Gibran.